Upper body days are my favorite days, and today we have a spicy push day on the menu. So I hope you're ready to work hard, push yourself, see what I did there, and get a good movement session in together. So grab your dumbbells. I recommend a variety ranging from light for when we're targeting smaller muscle groups like our shoulders to a heavier set for when we're pushing, oh my gosh, I did it again, bigger muscle groups like your chest. If you're newer to the gym, I like to break up my upper body days into a push day and a pull day. Today being push day, we're gonna focus on more push-oriented movements, hence the name. We're gonna be focusing on mostly our chest, our triceps, and some shoulder work. But if you're like me, you are very busy and don't have a lot of time to waste at the gym, so let's get after it. Wanna make sure things are secure. Since we're busy girlies, we're gonna be throwing in some supersets so we can get the most bang for our buck as far as time goes and get back to living our lives. I've got my bench set in an inclined position and we're gonna be focusing on our upper chest with this first movement, an inclined chest press. A lot of times I'll see people going a little bit too wide with this movement. That puts a lot of strain and tension and risk of injury in your shoulders. So you're gonna wanna rotate your elbows in a little bit and you'll notice you feel that more in your chest. Another thing that you might see people doing when working chest exercises is putting a little bit more of an arch in your back. What this is doing is setting you up for a better range of movement with your shoulder blades tucked up underneath of you. It's not necessary, but this was something I thought was totally wild when I first started seeing it. Bodybuilders especially will get a little bit more exaggerated because they're moving crazy amounts of weight, but don't worry, we're not neglecting our shoulders. So to superset that chest movement, we are just going to do a standard shoulder press. Shoulders are a very small muscle group, so you'll often have to go much lighter with your weight selection. You're not going to tell me you're not feeling your chesticles at this point. Take that bench flat and wake up our triceps now. I feel like it's not an upper body day unless you have just an array of dumbbells around you. But now we're gonna move into another superset. We're gonna start with a skull crusher. Contrary to how this exercise is named, we don't actually want to crush our skull. You wanna have your elbows bent at a 90-degree and the weight's kind of right behind your head. And as you work through this movement, you wanna focus on pulling your elbows together, almost like there's an invisible string tying them together. And the more you focus on squeezing those elbows together, the more that you're gonna feel this in your tricep, which is kind of what we're going for. And now to really set those triceps on fire, we're gonna superset that with a kickback. So you just wanna hinge your hips over, really focus on a flat back here. And you want all of the movement here to be in your elbows. You don't wanna be doing a bunch of swinging, using momentum. And if you're really feeling like you need that momentum and that extra swing to move the weight, try going down in weight and really focus on squeezing that muscle at the top. Trust me, it's still gonna burn, but it's gonna be so much more effective for the results that you're looking for. The more you can take this slowly and really focus on stopping and squeezing at the top, the more you're gonna feel that burn. Supersets are so killer. So now that our chest has had a break and our triceps are on fire, let's circle back. We're not using momentum when we lift, but I sure as heck am gonna use it to get set up. Ugh. Now we are going to superset a flat bench chest press with a hex press. For the hex press, you're gonna want your hands facing one another and you're gonna wanna push those dumbbells together. That's gonna be really key for feeling this in your chest. And again, you're gonna wanna avoid having the dumbbells right above your face. That's gonna put a lot of pressure in your shoulders. You wanna make sure those dumbbells are square over the girly pops, you know? As we come down, we're gonna keep those dumbbells together, and then to press back up, we're really gonna focus on pressing them together. You'll feel that squeeze in the chest and push the weight back up. Push days always remind me of that scene from Friends when Phoebe moves the machine and she says, wow.
Wow. Oh, my breasts are really strong.
Very similar to the incline chest press, you want to kind of think about the flat bench chest press in the same way. If you go super wide like this, you're again putting your shoulders at a pretty high risk of injury. So you want to tuck your elbows up underneath you a little bit and really target that chest, not those shoulders. Holy titties. Oh boy. And her chest grew 2 sizes that day. I used to really feel like I had to be pushing my weight on every exercise every week, but as long as you're consistently progressing, but it's really important to be realistic as well. You're not going to be pushing your weight up 5 or 10 pounds every week. If you've watched a few of my videos, you'll have heard me say this before, but progress over time is really what you want to look for, and trends over time. So as long as your weights are consistently trending upward, even if it's just a little bit, you're working in a really solid direction. My arms are noodles. And just like that, we're on to our last superset. I love doing supersets because I've really only had to do 4 big blocks of work, but by eliminating some of the rest time, which let's be honest, I typically just spend scrolling on my phone. So training supersets has been a really great way for me to kind of break that habit and get the most out of my time in the gym. And just because a workout is on the shorter side does not mean that it's not effective. So we're gonna close this out with a true burner, lateral raises, I hate them so much, and some tricep dips. I'm using 10s here, and the 10s are heavy, so if you need to grab for 5s or even just your body weight, your arms do weigh something. And this movement in particular is targeting a really small muscle group, and it tends to fatigue out really quickly. So start small and then take it up from there. For lateral raises, you always want to keep a slight bend in your elbow. You never want to lock out a joint. This really just goes for anything. We're not locking our knees and we're not locking our elbows. And you also don't want to be raising above shoulder height. If you can really easily get above your shoulders, odds are you can probably increase your weight a little bit. So you just want to stop at your shoulders, and again, you want to be slow and in control here. And if you're feeling any pain in your elbows, drop your weights. It's about building over time. It's not about proving something to anyone. And the only thing an ego lift ever got you is probably an injury. And some tricep dips to finish. For a little bit more support, you can keep your legs a little bit more underneath you and then slowly start to step out as you progress. The key is not letting your hips come far away from your bench. When your hips are out here, you're dumping all of this weight into your shoulders. Feeling a little preachy about protecting your shoulders today, but it's really important. I have suffered a rotator cuff injury myself, so you want to make sure you're passing right in front of the bench to keep the work in your triceps predominantly, rather than in your shoulders. I hope today wasn't a hair wash day for any of you guys, because good luck with that. It is definitely a dry shampoo day for me because my arms are toast. Got an excellent little pump and I'm feeling really strong, which is what we like to focus on around here. Strong, not skinny, because really at the end of the day, when I started focusing on strength, everything else fell into place. Let me know down below how your arms are feeling and if you like these dumbbell only workouts. Thanks so much for hitting arms with me, and I can't wait to hit legs together soon. If you haven't checked out my dumbbell only leg day, you can watch that video here. It's such a spicy one and so good for the glutes.